Time will be limited to as follows. The applicant, of course, that's the city, is limited to 30 minutes. Persons in favor of the application, 4 minutes. Persons in opposition of the application, 4 minutes. Rebuttal from the applicant or the city, the remainder of the 30. We will then close the public hearing, final comments by staff, question of staff, if any, by the commission, and then discussion and deliberation of the commission. A recommendation to City Council may be made at the close of this hearing, or the matter may be continued to a time and date certain. If the matter is continued to a certain date, this will be the only notice of that date you will receive. If you wish to speak tonight, please fill out a testimony form and submit it to the planning staff. The Planning Commission chair will recognize people who wish to speak, and any questions should be addressed through the chair. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and address for the record. This hearing will be recorded. Please speak clearly into the microphone. In reaching a decision on the application, the commission must consider whether the application meets the relevant approval criteria in the city's land use regulations. Those criteria are identified in the staff report. The staff report is available online and at City Hall. The staff report was accessible to the public 7 days prior to this meeting date. The testimony and evidence must address these criteria or other criteria you believe apply to the decision. Please note that failure to raise an issue with enough detail to enable the commission, the applicant, and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes an appeal to the City Council or Land Use Board of Appeal on that issue. Also, failure by the applicant to raise constitutional or either other issues regarding proposed conditions of approval, again with enough detail to how the commission to allow the commission to respond to that issue precludes an action for damages in circuit court. This evening, the Planning Commission will be making recommendation to the City Council. The City Council is the final decision maker on legislative hearing matters. So now staff can present the staff report. I will continue.
Can I interrupt just for a minute?
Yes.
I just want to let my fellow commissioners know that I did watch the video and read the notes and made sure on the YouTube, so I'm all caught up with where you guys are at. So I do plan to participate tonight. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Well, good evening. Joy Chang, Interim Planning Manager, with discussing climate-friendly, equitable communities. You all already know this, but just to touch base again, this was an executive order issued by former Governor Kate Brown in regards to the rules to help meet goals to reduce climate pollution, especially related to transportation. It applies to urban metropolitan area throughout Oregon, and of course Sherwood is in the metropolitan area of Portland. Again, the Planning Commission held its first hearing on April 9th and continued the hearing to tonight so that staff could address additional amendments that were made by DLCD, and we'll be discussing those in the next couple of slides. I do want to let you know too, it's bolded in red that we did request an alternative date extended for implementation. The original date was June 30th. It was a year from last year, but just because of council hearing and also holidays, we were able to extend it a little bit of time to September 14, 2024. So the next couple of slides, we'll be discussing specific amendments that were requested by DLCD, and I'm identifying them in red so that it's clear in regards to the community as far as what exactly did we change. In this particular slide, it's reduction of parking mandates. They wanted specifically for us to list all of these different types of uses in our table. So the parking standards table in 16.94, that's a typo, 16.94, was updated so that certain development types are clearly there. From childcare facilities, single room occupancy, residential units smaller than 750 square feet, and so on. So we made that clear as requested. The other request was that we needed to identify climate-friendly areas. What is climate-friendly area in Sherwood? Well, it's our Sherwood Town Center. So with that, it basically required us to adopt no parking mandates for the Sherwood Town Center. It also included land within a quarter-mile distance from those areas. And so this is the revised, this image on here reflected in pink is the revised area that we wouldn't have parking mandates. We still have maximums, but we don't have any minimums. And you can tell, I'll have a slide next, that it's pretty much how we started before, where it was a quarter mile of a transit. It's pretty much, we're hitting pretty much the same units as that. And the difference where we did the 30-minute walking in comparison to half a mile transit, the image to the right, we reduced it. But then with the required town center buffer, which are the new tax lots that are impacted are the ones in blue. It ended up impacting about 529 additional property owners. And let me show you that image again. So that's the big blob where we wouldn't be required to have parking minimums.
So,
Yes.
so just for clarity, are you recommending the first slide or the second slide?
We are recommending this particular slide in the sense of it encompassed transit and it also encompassed the Sherwood Town Center. So it's one map that we delineated both of those requirements. It's just the CFAC parking delineated area.
But we have the option to use the other, I'm confused because this one is a quarter mile from our town center. The requirements for this area are different than the requirements for the transit?
Yes, they are. So we also, there's no option of walking as far as the type of